Hi lovely people, it's Rachel and I've decided to scratch my itch. The itch being I really want to plan in an Erin Condren, and I've played a little bit this week, but as many of you know, I've been planning in personal rings and really enjoying that, and I do have an insert in that, if I just grab my planner, might help, where I can use sort of the width stickers, but I don't know, this is brilliant for kind of a quick reference, but I'm missing seeing my week all in one go and everything all together, because then my daily stuff and my other stuff is having to come on these pages, and oh, I don't know if I can actually show you, but right, that's blank, but I'm just basically making a list each day on here, but I'm flicking backwards and forwards, and I don't want to put these in here because I like that I turn from one week to the next week, and the same there. Planner problems. So I decided that I am going to plan out next week in an Erin Condren, and as you can see I've got an owlie and a vertical. I've also got some of the butterfly effect collection. I've already used some of this in my personal size planner, so I figured, well, you know what, there are tons of stickers here, I've got more than enough to do a weekly spread, so I've grabbed that because I think it looks really pretty with the green of March. I've grabbed my binder, so I've got extra stuff to draw from. I've pulled out munchkins if I need them. So yeah, I'm not quite sure though whether I want to go vertical or horizontal. I am almost feeling like going back to vertical is the way, because when I always used to plan in vertical, I used to have my nice long list down here, quote box, and then I would have somewhere on the day there would be a checklist, and then my kind of appointments and arrangements would be in roughly chronological order, and the bottom would be for notes, memories, gratitude, washi, because washi. When I planned in the hourly, it's been very much by the times. I know some people will go, well, it doesn't really matter so long as the flow of the day is chronological, but for me, if I know I'm doing something at 6 PM, it has to go on 6 PM. I can't cope with it going somewhere else. So yeah, I'm kind of, oh, I've got different weeks as well, that's actually this week. We're looking at this week. So I'm not sure, but it does give a lot more space for washi and pretty things. But I'm sort of feeling, yeah, I don't like the lines in the hourly this year as much as last year. I think that's what's putting me off. So I think we're going to go with the vertical, which is quite funny because this is full circle back to the vertical, which is where I started. So let's just make a start, shall we, and see where we're getting to. Right, let's start with this weekly core kit, and I'm going to start by putting my quote box down. This feels so unusual, and like, what am I doing? And that just went totally crooked. It's been so long since I've done a plan with me. First sticker down, woohoo! Oh, and it's been so long since, well, it has been a long time since I've done a plan with me, to be honest, which is partly just because life, stuff, things going on. What washi shall I have? I might have that one actually, that's really pretty. Yeah, it's been ages and ages and ages since I've done plan with me's. The YouTube channel as a whole, as I've mentioned on my Yarnia video, and now I need something to trim my washi with. Oh, so unprepared, so professional. Ah, dear. Yeah, I was talking about this a little bit on my Adventures of Yarnia video, which is my crochet kind of podcast, crochet, knitting, general yarn events. And I was saying, you know, it had been months since I'd filmed one of those, and you know, life just happens, and Christmas, and just trying to sort of keep things ticking over really. And I suppose I don't know, I got very much out of the habit of filming plan with me videos just as well, because often for me personally, it started to feel a bit repetitive because I have pretty much the same kind of timed things week on week, week in, week out. A lot of the actual kind of planning of what needs to happen when, as in task-based planning, I can't really do on camera, and a lot of it is to do obviously with work and the business, and that's not something that I always want to share or can share. So it was a bit tricky really. It was getting a bit tricky to kind of find the balance of how to actually plan on camera without inventing stuff. Or not inventing. Oh, shall I have another line of butterflies there? Shall we see what it looks like? And then totally cover this bottom section up, which is not what I normally do, but I'm quite liking, I quite like all the butterflies. It's pretty. Yeah, butterflies. So, yeah, it's been a bit of a funny one really. I should chop that side in half. Oh dear. But anyway, my itch, as I mentioned at the start of the video, has been to plan in a bigger planner again, to come back to an Erin Condren. And I mean, this is the first year for a good number of years that I haven't had an EC kind of on the go and being used. So, yeah, it might be a bit too much. Okay. Right, I'm going to do sidebar next. So let's have a little to-do header. And then I'll just put some checklist down. Shall I match the checklist or no? I'm going to use the yellowy one actually, which is a really, really pretty shade of yellow. Let me go upside down for a moment. Obviously not me personally, but you know what I mean. There we go. And then I tend to like to have a habit tracker. Although I'm actually tracking quite a few habits at the moment. But am I going to carry on doing that in my personal rings? You see, this is where I've just hit the stumbling block. Am I trying to make this replace this, or am I trying to make it work alongside? That is the $64 million question. I think, realistically, it's never going to replace it, because I've got into such a groove with my sort of daily things going on in there that it's just not going to happen. It's not going to replace it. So it's going to have to work alongside. What I want from this is to see my week all in one go, to jot things down ahead of time, and then the personal rings becomes my on the day kind of list. Right, sorted. In which case I am going to put my habit tracker in, and what I'm actually going to just put down is my most important habit at the moment. The one that kind of sparks off the rest of them happening. So I'll come back and put that in afterwards. Right, let's put in now all of the timed stuff. I'm going to keep the top. Am I going to keep the top for my lists? Yes, I am, although I am a list short, but that's okay, because let me think what's going on next week. Let me think, because I'm fairly certain there is a day that's really, really full. Yeah, Friday's a pretty full day, so that'll have a shorter to-do list anyway. And that's only because I've used, obviously, the 5th list on my, in my personal rings already. So that's why I've not got the right number. Okay, let's lead off with a green one in here. So yes, being able to pop things down ahead of the time. So and not have to worry about, you know, whether it's work, personal, home, whatever, I think is going to be quite useful. Because at the moment it tends to get ditched on a post-it, because I like to make my list in the morning by category. So I like to have all of my work tasks together, and I like to have all of my home stuff together. I told you I've become quite fussy. I am such a fuss pot at the moment about things. But anyway. Right, I'm going to put that here because it's my friend's... Because I need a reminder that it's class photos that day. Have I got any little cameras or anything in here? I'm sure I will have. I think I've got Penguin Joe having photos. But have I got any camera icons? I do them, I've just not got them. Right, in that case I'm going to use one of these parent and child Penguin Joes, because it's a school event, so that'll remind me that I need to make sure the kids look a little bit more presentable than they normally do. You know, they always look presentable, but there we go. Coming over here, I already know that I need to pay riding lessons for Eleanor. She started in January, and it's really doing her so much good. Really helping with her confidence, and yeah, it's just really good to see. Okay, so now let's start getting the timed stuff in, for which I'm going to need my events and possibly half boxes. I'm going to start with my easy one, which is Sunday, because Sunday is obviously church, and I'm actually just going to use a full box for that, because that's kind of a big chunk of the day. So church, I'll be on worship group. Not sure if Luke's on tops, I never know when he is now. He used to be on all the time, but it's kind of eased up a bit. On Saturday, the very lovely Lucy Attic from Attic 24 is visiting Black Sheep Wools in Warrington, which is about 20 minutes down the motorway from me, so I'm planning on taking a little trip and going. And I want to use... Where are you? I've got little Penguin Joes somewhere taking a road trip. Here we go. Use one of these. What colour shall we have? Actually, I might go pink again. Put him in there. Lucy at Black Sheep. I think she's there between 10 and 4. Okay. Right. I seem to be going back through the week here. Right, let's try going to Monday, shall we? So on Monday, 2 timed things. I have got teaching, and also daughter's swimming lesson. So I'm going to do this for my teaching, because I'm going to use a Penguin Joe with it, like you do. Find my music ones. Music Joes, as you can see, I have a couple of sheets of those because we do get through them. So I am teaching. That's piano teaching, in case you are new to my channel and don't know what sort of teaching I'm referring to. And 6 PM is swimming for Miss Elizabeth. Also on that day, I just want a reminder that it is swimming for Eleanor. So that I can make sure she's got a kit. She's pretty good at remembering stuff, it has to be said. But I do like to just remind her of a couple of things. And I'm actually going to put a couple of other sort of reminder stickers at the top of here, because Eleanor also has ukulele on Wednesdays. I don't know why, but I love writing the word ukulele. It's just so fun to write. And then on Thursday she has a clarinet lesson, although she's actually stopping at the end of this half term, which I'm a little bit mixed about how I feel about that. Because obviously I've mentioned I teach piano, and music's been a really big part of kind of my life and things that I've done. And so I was very keen really for both girls to have the opportunity to learn an instrument, and for us to give them that. But at the same time, it's got to be what they want to do, and unfortunately it looks like Eleanor's not quite so bothered about it as I would have liked. But you know what? She's 9 and, well, she's coming up for 10 this year. She's learnt for a couple of years. It's something that she can go back to if she wants in future, and that is fine. Right, Tuesday, rainbows for the small one. And then Wednesday is a bit of a crazy day. So we have got worship group in the evening. Get a coil out of the way. So again, I'm going to pop Penguin Joe in for music. And at 6 PM it will be What's New Wednesday. So I like to put that in just so that I've got a reminder that I'm going to need to be online. And then I have parents' evening for both girls. I think we'll have this one. I'm just working my way back. So parents' evening. And that is 4:40, and I'm doing year 2 then year 5, because I'm also, Eleanor has dance after school, so I don't actually pick the kids up until 4:30 on a Wednesday, so that works in really nicely. Thursday I teach in the evening for an hour. 6 PM, and then I've not left myself much spaces for any full boxes here. Right, I'm just going to have a pause and a think, because I do want to use some of these just to brighten it all up. I think I should put that one there, that'll look really nice there, won't it? And then I actually think I'm going to put one down here and here maybe. So let's have you here. And then I could put my teaching over the top of it. That's nice. And then Friday is quite a busy day, so I'm not going to put anything there. So I'm going to put in on Saturday night. There we go, that's better. Okay, so Friday, crazy busy day. We have, normally I have a standing coffee date first thing in the morning with my friend. Then I teach for a half hour at 11. I teach again for an hour in the afternoon. Which is now 4:30. And then Eleanor has her riding lesson in the evening. Oh, what colour should we use for that? Oh, I think I'll actually have a yellow. and I'll line it up to there because otherwise it'll look rubbish on this side. Okay, I think that is all of the timed stuff put in. What I do want to do is maybe just put in another Penguin Joe for over here, because Penguin Joe is cool, and so I can sort of put him there in between those two teaching blocks. And I want a weekend banner up there. I want to also put in sort of what I'm making, what I'm focusing on for the week. So let's get out a yarn strip and a Penguin Joe who's crocheting or knitting. Doesn't really matter which at this stage in the game because I do both. So this can come here and he can sit there. That can just be what I'm making that week or focusing on. It's probably going to be the Ubuntu blanket, and there'll be a sock cast on by then as well by the time I get to it. Okay, so having got all of the timed things in for next week, I'm just going to put a few decorative stickers in because they're always lovely to have, aren't they? I tend to like to use up the top for this. I love how they sit together. I have some flowers, and really these are just going as little accents, just something a little bit lovely here and there. And then the other thing that I just need to do as well is to pop the weekend banner in. So there we go. Put you in here. I think I'm going to put it at an angle and then again use some of the decorative stickers around it just to make it look even more lovely. So I'm going to put that one there. Let's have a see now. And I want to pop in payday. It's Friday for Luke. And it will be normal bins next week. Put that in. Anything else? I don't think there is at this stage. Oh, I'll just put the vacuum in for cleaning on Wednesday morning. You see, I say there's nothing else and then I'm like, oh, and there's this. Oh, and I forgot about this. Oh, and I must remember that. Oh dear. No, I think that is it now until next week as things start to get added in. And we can kind of take it from there. Are there any more penguins that I want to add? Because let's face it, penguins are always a good idea. I don't think there are going to be. Now I've put my music ones in. I could put in a planning session, but I think I'll leave that until next week. Oh, reading. I do want to put a reading reminder in because I've kind of got out the habit already, which is bad, after saying that I wanted to read more, and I'm reading The Beekeeper's Promise at the moment, which it was a freebie on Kindle, and I read a few chapters and it's okay. It seems like a nice enough book. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think that is me done now. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope that, you know, you've kind of understood sort of some of my thought process and things with why I wanted to have a play at Erin Condren and kind of where I'm up to with planning. I have to say, just looking at this makes me feel so happy. It really does. To the point that I'm like, right, let's put in the next few weeks and let's try it out. So maybe that will happen. If it does, I'll try and film more in here if that would be of interest. And yeah, I hope whatever you're up to, you have a fab rest of the day. Thank you for spending some time with me. Subscribe if you haven't already, and for now I shall say bye bye. Take care, lovely people.